My name is, of course, Caesar Mwangi. I've worked in many different places, different organizations, different countries. I continued my professional work here in Kenya from 2006. And it's around that time actually that I came to the business school. At the time the business school was just starting, around 2006. And in 2007, I was the first batch of lecturers who took or who delivered some of the classes in the MBA program when it began in 2007. Why does a business school exist? Africa has the distinct characteristic of being the richest continent in practical terms, in terms of what is available on the African continent, but unfortunately the poorest in terms of human development terms. Okay? So the highest levels of poverty are found in this continent. Yet it has the greatest wealth in terms of mineral resources. In terms of land mass, we have a land mass of 30 million square kilometers, which has high potential for agriculture. We have forests, we have gold, we have diamonds, we have uranium, we have bauxite, we have tanzanite, numerous natural resources. But from a human development point of view, we have the greatest poverty levels, which is very unfortunate. But it's something we have to be aware of. Number two, this is a continent with the greatest potential in terms of human potential, because out of the 1.4 billion people, 65% of those people, almost 1 billion people, are below the age of 25. Now, what does that mean? It has huge potential. Many other regions in the world have a declining population, right? Despite having wealth, yes, they have a declining population. Now, the greatest wealth lies in people. And the business school, therefore, has a role to play in terms of unlocking this potential through the dissemination of business knowledge, so that businesses in this region, in this continent, can have the best people who will be able to develop them to their highest potential. Over the past 17 years, and I really want to, first of all, recognize my predecessor, Dr. George Njenga, and his team. I met George here at this business school in 2006 when it was just starting up in a little room somewhere in one corner of this university near the library. And I remember speaking to him, and he had this big dream, this big idea, this great idea of developing the best business school in Africa with the greatest impact for Africa. And I remember I was sold on that vision at that time, and I really want to thank him, because I stand on the shoulders of such giants. I love the beautiful story of Wangari Maathai, the late Wangari Maathai, God rest her soul in eternal peace. A lady who had a big dream that the environment can be preserved, the environment should have more trees for its preservation, that will help our rainfall patterns, that will help our farming possibilities, that will improve our country. So let's plant one more tree. And one more tree, and get a few more people to plant one more tree, and get some women in the Green Belt movement to plant one more tree, and then millions of trees will be planted, and then billions of trees will be planted. If you drive now to the central part of Kenya, it's full of trees. It was not always like that. It was due to the Green Belt movement and the dream of this lady. And she said, I cannot change the world, but I can plant one more tree, and I can get somebody to plant one more tree. I like to call this the hummingbird approach. She told the story of the hummingbird. The beautiful story of the hummingbird. That's what it's all about. There was a big forest, and a small fire started, and that small fire became bigger and bigger. And that's what we're facing in this continent. We have a big continent, and a small fire started. A fire of self-interest, a fire of corruption, a fire of exploitation, a fire of lack of respect for service and the ordinary people, a fire of mediocre work, a fire of doing things for self-interest instead of for the common good. These fires have been growing bigger and bigger and bigger. Who's going to stop them? Many people have said, we're a basket case. We can't solve the problems in Africa. Forget it. Forget it. So let's just eat and be merry today because we are all going to perish anyway. The continent is too corrupt. The people there are corrupt by nature. They can't even keep time. So they say. But we say, no. Let us be the hummingbird. Don't worry about changing the world out there. Start with yourself. Start with yourself. So you come to Strathmore Business School, undergraduate, postgraduate, executive education, you get the message. Start with yourself. Change yourself. Make a change wherever you go. Begin with the end in mind. We have a vision to change this continent. But we've got to start somewhere. Now that we're starting the year 2023, I just want to say that let's all remember that we are very privileged. If you've had the opportunity of actually being in such an institution as Strathmore University and Strathmore Business School for that matter, it is a privilege which many do not have. Why is it you that has got this privilege? I think that's what we've all got to ask ourselves. Why is it me who has this privilege? So remember, you can do two things. Number one, you can help other people access this privilege. Go out there and tell people you got something good out of this institution and let them come also and get that good. But number two, whatever you've learned, I pray that it has transformed you to be somebody who will live a purposeful life of contribution, which will fulfill you. You will be happy. And by the time you exit this window of opportunity called life, you will have said you did the job that was given to you. Ultimately, don't forget, we're first and foremost children of God, the creator of all this beautiful world called the earth, which is just a dot, a spot in the universe. But he also created that universe, and we are just a spot in the universe. But imagine the enormity of this God and the power if we are his children. Imagine the power then we have within us if we just have a trace of that greatness from him. Imagine how great it is. Reflect on this and unlock that power within you to be the best you can be in the spirit of excellence, which is one of those values that we hold very dear here. Excellence is really greatness. Trying to do the best we can do because we are called to by the greatest excellence, God himself. Thank you.